It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, basketball fans. I'm Ernie Johnson, welcoming you to 2K Sports. I'm here with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Tonight's broadcast will feature the Miami Heat as they go up against the Minnesota Timberwolves. For the Timberwolves, you want to talk about starting the season on a roll. They've played 6 games and won all 6. Flawless basketball they've been playing early on. And for Minnesota fans, after years of waiting, they finally have something to be excited about. The young Timberwolves are on the rise, Jet.
Maybe the best collection of young talent in the league. Possibly.
Could be.
Tremendous athleticism on the wings, excellent low post play, and they're an exciting team.
And, they got a very respected head coach in Tom Thibodeau. He will demand the best out of them. Nowhere to go but up, Ernie.
Yeah, well, we could go to courtside. That's another place we could go.
Is that up?
Yeah, that's where Kevin Harlan is.
It's
well,
down,
he must
actually.
be up then.
Timberwolves continue their journey as they play an interconference matchup in this road game. And here it comes, the NBA on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan, and by my side are analysts Greg Anthony and Doris Burke. From the sideline, we'll have the Hall of Famer David Aldridge. And before the action gets going here,
well, guys, he has an admiration for what he called the intelligent, efficient offense played by today's opponent. He told me that the thing about this team is that they are so good at identifying the weak spots in an opponent, and they come at you in multiple ways depending on where those weak spots are. He said, we've got to be ready for everything. It's a pretty tall order. Guys?
Thank you, David. Maybe too soon to start talking about this, Doris, but we see some young teams getting blown out. Clearly they're in rebuild mode. At what point do you start to focus on player development versus winning games?
This is such a tough organizational issue because you have to balance the priority of giving your young talent an opportunity to get the repetition necessary in a playing environment in a competitive situation versus we owe a commitment to our fans to win and win at a high level because they're paying the ticket prices and ultimately, playing a part in our success. So I think some of this has to be, where are we at the midway point? Are we legitimately in playoff contention, or is it time to now focus on our player development? This is an organizational decision that has to happen organically over 82 games.
And you know what losing does to a culture? It can disintegrate a culture.
No, it's a great point. You do not want young players to get comfortable with losing. You are so right about that, Kevin.
And checking out Minnesota's opening lineup. Teague runs the point with Butler at his side. They're the backcourt. Gibson is the 4 with Towns in the middle. And it's Wiggins in at the 3 slot. And the shot is good from Johnson.
And he'll take that. The nice, easy mid-range jumper, first bucket of the day.
A pretty good way to start the game, right? The defense has to be more aggressive, keeping him away from that area of the floor, or it's going to be a long night.
Second shot opportunity. Shot's good by Gibson.
Well, Taj Gibson has built his NBA game on his ability to rebound the basketball consistently. What a great nose for it he has.
Basket counts. Gibson's got his second bucket of the game to go.
Almost an impossible shot to block in the post. The defender can't give up that much of a height advantage and expect to contest it.
Here's Dragic. Played in with a nice touch off the glass.
And where's the help? Obviously a missed rotation, something they're going to want to patch up.
Right, because otherwise you're going to give up those close range opportunities all night. If you allow the opposition to get into a groove, look out.
Teague for 3. Here's Butler. And that comes off the assist by Jeff Teague.
Boy, that's determination in the painted area. Butler has got tremendous athleticism to counter what was pretty good defense.
And there's the pass to Mickey. Raiders against Butler. They get it again.
And he rushed that one, no doubt about it. The D out of position, you could see the frustration on his face.
And they pick up 2. Wiggins has got his first 2 points of the night.
And their offense already in a flow. Some stellar shooting to jump out to this lead.
On the wing, Johnson. Using his post move to get the 2 points.
And just a step ahead of the D in that possession there, making the pass. Nice assist.
Outside Butler. Dishes it to Towns. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. Three-pointer. That's good from Teague on the assist from Gibson.
Oh, my goodness. The defense looking helpless in that instance, doing all they can. But ultimately, Jeff Teague beats them with better offense.
Waiters into the lane. Terrific design on the pick play, and he lays it in.
Boy, he's able to get to the hoop, Kev, because of that great solid screen.
Wiggins outside. And Wiggins throws it down hard.
Andrew Wiggins should get a 10 for degree of difficulty. That was beautiful.
And that was Under Armour bringing you that replay. Unleash chaos. And what a play it was. Johnson kicks to Dragic. Shoots it up. The Heat keep it going. A new 24-second shot clock.
Yeah, and the presence of Whiteside in the paint, really unreal. He is a dominant figure down low. Great work to grab that second chance opportunity.
The kick out to T. Back to Wiggins. He feeds it to Towns. 5 to shoot. And he lays it straight in. Towns has got his second bucket of the night.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
Johnson against Wiggins. Dragic kicks to Mickey. And that's out of bounds. Miami will retain possession.
And a moment now to look at the stats for Dragic. Good season for him last year. Last season, he averaged 20 points a game, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds. He has been terrific throughout, putting up some huge numbers offensively.
Well, and this is exactly who he is, a flat-out scoring machine. You plug him in and let him go to work. Well, you think about Tom Thibodeau as the architect of so many great defensive teams. For Minnesota, it took some time on the defensive end, but he feels like this team is starting to turn a corner on that end.
To the middle. Well-timed pass, and he goes straight to the bucket for the layup.
I'll tell you, that's an assist that shows great sense for where his teammates want to move.
Kicks it to Wiggins. To the paint. Towns down low. Whiteside's there, and Towns gets it to go. And it's the Heat with the ball, trailing by 5. They couldn't put the pieces together, losing that last matchup with Boston.
And you know what? A shame that either team had to lose that game, because you had to be proud of the way they battled in it.
Yeah, and you love how both teams gave it everything they had through the end of regulation. But in OT, only one side had something in the tank.
He kicks it to Gibson. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. Doris, as many NBA teams are doing, the Minnesota Timberwolves now have their own G League affiliate.
Well, and to me, this is a smart move by the organization, Kev, because it gives them a lot of flexibility in how they develop players. It's a very useful tool given their young talent. Only positives have come from teams purchasing G League affiliates.
Dragic the pass to Whiteside. Whiteside a screen. Butler against Waiters. And the rejection by Towns.
Well, his value to this team on both ends. Not many guys can defend the perimeter and the rim the way Towns can.
Oh, taking it to the rack with power.
Hammering down the two-hand slam. The Heat trail by 7. Waiters with the ball. 11 points for him in that last game against Boston.
Yeah, Kev, he was a standout on the backboards that night and got a number of big rebounds.
Whiteside a screen on Teague. Dragic gets the bucket.
And that's what you give up when you don't fight over the screen.
Right, the effort could have been so much better. You've got to be willing to fight through that screen. There's no question about it.
The kick out to Teague. Launches it. And again, Minnesota with the triple.
Well, the ability to stretch the defense from distance. Jeff Teague has it. He squares it up and releases quickly.
Dragic dishes to Waiters. Johnson outside. Whiteside sets the pick for Johnson. Passes to Dragic. Tried to come right back with the three of his own, but it's no good. And Gibson kicks to Towns, and the dunk by Towns.
And guys, they've come out and established a rhythm. And also their play calling has been on point.
Yeah, I think that's exactly how they've built this lead. They played as one, shared the basketball, running their offense to perfection.
And Miami calls their first time out of the game. This is their first chance this season playing the Timberwolves.
And guys, these teams don't see each other too often, but last year they would have liked to see a little bit more of them, the way they were able to take care of their business.
Group in for the Heat. Olynyk, he's checked in for Mickey. Winslow comes in for Johnson. Wayne Ellington's checked in for Dion Waiters. And it's Tyler Johnson in for Goran Dragic. Big group substitution now for Minnesota. Jang, he's checked in for Gibson. Muhammad comes in for Wiggins. Jamal Crawford, he's checked in for Jimmy Butler. And Tyus Jones subbed in for Teague. Marked down low that time, and he got the 3-second call. And a look now at the four areas where shots can come from. The paint, mid-range, and shots from deep, all broken down for the Timberwolves.
And clearly, this is a squad that makes its living in the paint. Very few teams are as determined to get the ball inside as much as they are. They aren't going to settle for jump shots. They're going to continue to pound it down low.
Here's Whiteside. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Whiteside's got his third basket of the night.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
And Muhammad gets it to go. And the Timberwolves lead by 8.
I think that's one thing that helps Muhammad inside against intense defensive pressure, that 7-foot wingspan.
Winslow against Jang. Johnson the screen. Towns against Whiteside. And here's Johnson outside. Rebound Minnesota. They want to keep rolling here following the win against the Thunder.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, I thought the opponent's defense just never showed up.
I mean, you'd have to question their effort, Greg. They did a great job at penetrating and kicking out. The defense simply wasn't up to the task.
And Olynyk kicks to Ellington. Olynyk the pass to Johnson. Heat moving the ball around. On the wing, Winslow. Muhammad covering. And the dunk by Winslow.
And guys, that's one of the more basic plays in anybody's playbook, but not to mention also truly one of the best.
And Greg, the pick frees him up, and the dunk caps it off.
Yeah, run your offense with that kind of precision. Not much anyone can do to stop it.
Outside, Jones. Here's Jang. Rebound by Olynyk. The Heat trail by 8.
But Kelly Olynyk, remember, out of Gonzaga, a great college program. This is a 7-footer with guard skills, and no coincidence. He played guard before a growth spurt in high school, and that turned him into the big man that he is now.
I'll tell you, good things always come when you've got players who work hard for second chance opportunities.
Here's Towns. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2. And Olynyk, Doris, with the complete complement of skills.
Well, that's the key, Kevin. This guy can attack closeouts. He can make things happen off the bounce. Very rare to see a 7-footer with that kind of skill.
No good on that one.
Boy, when you watch Cat play out there, you can forget exactly how young he is. The poise and manner of a 10-year vet, and very aware of what is happening on the court.
Johnson kicks to Whiteside. Pass to Winslow. There's 1:54 left to play in the first quarter. Johnson against Jones. It's up a 3. Now in the scoring column with that deuce. 1 for 2 this game. And while Towns does play beyond his years, he is definitely young, to the point where he was actually younger than every member of both starting fives, Doris, in the national championship game last season in college basketball.
I think it's got to be a scary thought for the league. That cat is still years away from what should be his prime. It's rare to see a player so young have such great court awareness. And I think that's the thing that separates good players from great players.
Johnson kicks to Olynyk. He dishes it to Ellington. Over to the wing. Here's Whiteside. The shot comes out, and Minnesota now the other way to the inside. Here's Towns. That one is good. He's only missed 1 shot of his 6 taken on the floor.
Well, he's kept them in balance tonight. This guy's shooting has put them in front.
Johnson dishes to Olynyk, and there's the feed to Winslow. Pass to Johnson. Now Ellington. His last outing, he had 8 points. Johnson outside. Whiteside kicks to Ellington. It's rebounded by Towns. Towns has got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. Now here's Jones. Looking for his first basket still in this one. Zhang, a screen. Now the dish to Muhammad. Jones for 3. Keeps it alive, and it's Towns on the follow. And now it's a 10-point Timberwolves lead.
Well, second chance bucket, right? You have to put a body on Towns or he'll devastate you.
It's been all about Karl Anthony Towns for Minnesota. He put together quite a quarter, 13 points in all. And he looks to be planning for more. Right back after this break. And forward James Johnson battled his way back into the league after some stints abroad. He talked about his approach to the game.
I play the game how it's supposed to be played. I play offense, I play defense, I rebound, steals, blocks. You know, I'm pretty much that guy who likes to work hard and don't want anybody to beat him out, you know, except the challenge.
That's exactly the kind of hard-nosed, old-school attitude that coaches just love.
Kevin, and so do his teammates. I mean, a guy like that brings out the best in everybody on that team. They just kind of feed off of his effort and desire.
Welcome back, folks. We'll see if we're in store for a more tightly contested quarter as we move here into the second. And guys, what's your take so far on the Timberwolves?
Yeah, it didn't take them long to get that transition game going.
Not at all. Every time they get the ball, they're looking to burn the defense in transition.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade as the second quarter gets going. And for Miami, look at who they've got out there. Winslow and Olynyk fill up the forward spots. Wayne Ellington is out there with Johnson. And it's Whiteside in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. Hey, Doris, with all the switching on defense, it seems like everyone has to be able to guard both inside and on the perimeter. Do you see us becoming even more of a positionless league?
You know, this is a fascinating aspect to me because you focus on a player like Draymond Green, who coming out of Michigan State was considered a tweener, somebody who was neither a guard nor a forward and didn't have the requisite skill set to be effective in the NBA. But there is true value to players, be it at the small forward, the power forward, or the center position. Because the league is such a heavy pick and roll, because the floor is so spread, Kevin, the guys who have the kind of lateral mobility and the basketball IQ to switch onto smaller players and stay in front and contest shots, they're crucial. For right now, this is the trend, and I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon.
Zhang with the ball. Now guarded by Winslow. And Muhammad gets it to go.
What you love about Muhammad, his hands are always ready to catch the ball and his mind trained on the bucket.
And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, guys, Miami's Eric Spoelstra is known for his focus and his devotion to work. How does he stay centered? Yoga. He said, I like it because you have to keep your eyes on your own mat. If you're not focused on the spot in front of you, you'll fall over. And Kevin, that mindfulness translates across the board.
Mindfulness. That's an interesting way to look at things, D.A. Spo is a great communicator. Knows how to certainly get through to his team. The Heat making a switch here. Mickey's checked in. Jang inside. Olynyk is covering. No good there. Ellington inside the three-point line. That's in, coming off an assist from Johnson. Ellington's got his first basket of the night. Timberwolves leading by 10. Jang, the pass to Jones. Feeds it to Gibson. And it's Gibson finishing it off.
Well, Taj Gibson, a terrific athlete, easily gets off the floor to finish with authority.
Johnson dishes to Olynyk. Winslow against Muhammad. Johnson kicks to Ellington. And the three off target. The Timberwolves have gone 2 of 3 from the field here to open the second quarter. Jones, the pass to Jang. Back to Jones. The pass to Gibson. Up and in for the basket. Number 4. That makes him 4 for 5 now.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
Timeout called, the Heat.
And probably the one constant of this Miami team the last few years has been their defense. They do a great job of making life difficult for opposing shooters, and it's been anchored by one of the best shot blockers in the game with Whiteside.
And the Miami defense is more than just Whiteside blocking shots, as you might say. Greg, they do a great job of limiting opponents' threes.
Yeah, they challenge the three ball as well as anybody. Both contest the shot and close out to deny the attempt from even being taken. This roster does a great job of taking away space from shooters.
Different look for Miami. James Johnson's checked in for Winslow. Dion Waiters comes in for Wayne Ellington. And it's Dragic in for Tyler Johnson. Timberwolves also changing it up. Andrew Wiggins, he's checked in for Shabazz Muhammad. Butler comes in for Jamal Crawford. And it's Teague in for Jones. Dragic against Teague. Dishes to Wiggins. Outside Teague. Butler from outside. The shot misses. And Miami the other way now. They'll be playing host to Chicago for their next game. Johnson kicks to Dragic. There's a screen. Loses his man off the screen and lays it up and in. Dragic has got 6.
If you give him an inch of space, he's going to make you pay.
Gibson the screen. Butler on the wing. Jang inside. He's against Olynyk. 4 on the clock. 18 feet out. And again, it's Minnesota converting.
That's their 3rd straight make off an assist.
The Heat trail by 14. Dragic dishes to Waiters. He feeds it to Johnson. Olynyk, a screen on Wiggins. Here's Johnson. Goes right through for bucket number 3. He's a perfect 3 for 3 to start.
Shakes his man by using exceptional use of the screen. I mean, from there, it's smooth sailing.
Teague against Dragic. Butler kicks to Teague. The Timberwolves working the ball around now. Jang. Mickey grabs the board.
And a surprise he doesn't knock that down. Defense a little too lax that time.
From the corner. Waiters no luck.
Boy, that's a tough miss. Does well to get himself open and then botches it up.
Here's Wiggins. He had 16 points in the win against Oklahoma City. And Zhang kicks to Wiggins, and good that time. Wiggins has got the lead up to 14 now for the Timberwolves.
The assist totals, Kevin, just continue to grow. They're way ahead in that category. Ball movement has been flawless.
Screen by Olynyk. Mickey passes to Dragic, and he gets the friendly spin, and that one drops. 8 points for him.
Boy, you can't pin their struggles today on him. He's been on fire from the field.
Gibson the screen. Dragic against T. Out to the right wing. Kicks it out to Wiggins. And they'll turn it over. Could not get off a shot. 24-second violation. You know, these are the guys you need to be aware of if you don't want your pocket picked. Here are last season's steals leaders. 5th, Jimmy Butler.
He showed such tremendous defensive instincts. Trust me, nobody wanted him guarding them last year.
Timeout called, the Heat. Doris, with defensive rules now allowing teams to play a sort of soft zone, does that make it easier to hide bad defensive players on your team?
Well, it certainly gives you one avenue. I don't think you can play zone in the NBA for any extended periods because the coaching is too good and the skill level of the players would destroy a zone if you gave a steady diet of it. I do believe, however, that hiding a defensive weakness comes down to personnel. How many can you hide on one particular floor? Somebody's going to get exposed somewhere if there's too many.
No doubt.
Yeah, the amount of points they've given up here in the paint, that's what they got to talk about.
Well, I think they've got to ramp up the pressure. There's no excuse for letting them score at will in the paint. Make them feel you.
And now let's take a look at the stats for Johnson. He had a strong showing last season. Averaged about 13 points a game, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. And this is the kind of strong, steady play you like to see. He's earning his keep and helping them win games.
I think they need more consistency from him, and they're getting it. Look for this to continue. I love it.
I'd love to see them impose themselves a little more on the backboard. That's a great way to find confidence. Always a surefire way to get back in the game.
Outside Butler. Stolen by Waiters. Puts it up from 12. That one wide left. Minnesota leading by 12. Kicks it to Wiggins. Shoots from the elbow. Passes it to Teague. Gibson the screen. Dragic against Teague. And Gibson kicks to Wiggins. 6 to shoot. 3-pointer. Butler. That falls. Nice feed that time from Wiggins. And it's 7 points for Jimmy Butler.
Boy, great rhythm on the jumper. Every year, Butler gains more and more confidence in that catch-and-shoot game.
Here's Johnson, and he uses the glass on the layup.
And they keep hammering away at him inside, forcing the ball into the paint.
The Timberwolves have gone 6 of 10 from the floor here in the second quarter. T kicks to Wiggins. Pass to Zhang. And Teague has it in the corner. The Timberwolves need to get a shot off here. From past the arc. And another 3 for Minnesota.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
Knocked loose. Waiters with the ball. Butler covering. Olynyk sets a screen for Waiters. And Waiters with the stop.
And wait to finish and cut into that lead a little bit.
Yeah, but look at the basket, guys, still shaking. Butler kicks to Zhang. Shoots over Olynyk. Rebound by Olynyk. Olynyk's got 3 rebounds now in this one. Outside Dragic. Olynyk against Zhang. Olynyk dishes to Waiters. Screen by Olynyk. Here's Johnson. And now the fast break. Gibson with the ball. The kick outside to Butler. Right side Gibson. Gibson with another miss.
He does everything right except drain the shot.
Waiters against Butler. On the wing, Wiggins. Zhang, the pass to Butler. Over Waiters. But they get it back. The kick outside to Butler. Back to Wiggins. Butler kicks to Wiggins. Over Johnson. And it's Wiggins missing. The Heat trail by 14.
Boy, it's fun to watch the growth of Andrew Wiggins over just a few years in the NBA, right? He can score from multiple spots. He continues to refine that offensive game.
Johnson against Wiggins. Here's Dragic from outside. A rebound by the Timberwolves. Zhang's got 4 rebounds now tonight. And Gibson kicks to Zhang. And he gets it to go. Zhang's got his second bucket. And with Wiggins, the clear development doors in his game has come from how versatile he is at scoring, good off the dribble or on the catch and shoot.
Well, and think about it, Kev. For Andrew, that's only going to get better with age. He continues to strengthen his footwork. There's a little bit of DeMar DeRozan and Kobe in terms of his ability in the mid-range.
So the Timberwolves call their first timeout.
And guys, you know, you never run out of things that you can improve upon.
I think, Greg, it's important to keep that hunger, right? You're always striving to get better and to change things up.
And a new group in for the Heat. Whiteside's checked in for Olynyk. Justice Winslow comes in for Jordan Mickey. Wayne Ellington's checked in for James Johnson. And it's Johnson in for Goran Dragic. Big group substitution now for Minnesota. Towns, he's checked in for Zhang. Muhammad comes in for Andrew Wiggins. Jamal Crawford, he's checked in for Butler. And Tyus Jones subbed in for Teague. Jones for 3. And Winslow pulls it down.
And one thing I liked in the first quarter was their aggressiveness to draw the contact, putting the defense on the defensive. And a sharp pass to set up that high percentage shot in close.
1:03 left now here in the second. Crawford outside. Towns down low. He's covered by Whiteside. Here's Muhammad. Offensive rebound. Crawford dishes to Towns. Outside, Jones. Towns, the pass to Muhammad. Back to Towns. Kicks it out to Jones. To the left side wing. Oh, and a fast break for the Heat. Johnson's got the ball, and then Johnson with the dunk.
Well, I like that he shows no hesitation there.
Boy, when he's alone in the open court, he just attacks, right? I mean, turning on the jets and finishing easily at the rim.
15 seconds left here in the second. And there's the feed to Muhammad. Gibson the screen. Timberwolves passing it around. Good. And that's 15 points for Karl Anthony Towns.
Wow, finding more ways to score if that's possible. Towns now burning guys off screens.
And so it's the Minnesota Timberwolves up by a dozen here at the end of the quarter. They've been putting on a clinic in the paint. Shots are falling with regularity, and they are pounding it down low. And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Thank you, Kevin. Here with Karl Anthony Towns. An impressive first half and a nice start for you guys. How did that happen?
I mean, yeah, we had some great days of practice. You know, this is what happens when you got some days off.
Got the spring in your step again. Thanks, Karl Anthony. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David. We'll be back after halftime for the start of the second half momentarily.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
We so hope you enjoyed our first half. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. This is the halftime report. What a start it was for Karl Anthony Towns. He ended up with 15 points, 7 rebounds, and 1 block. And Shaq, what do you think about what we saw from Minnesota?
Well, it was an unselfish, team-oriented half of basketball. The ball never stopped moving. Their offense had a great flow to it. It prevented anyone from getting lazy out there. They're always moving.
And now, folks, just...
Welcome back. American Airlines Arena visible on the far right of your screen in that overhead shot of downtown Miami. Well, it's been a one-sided affair so far through the first 2 quarters, but there's plenty of time to mount a comeback. Karl Anthony Towns has been sensational.
And I loved in that first half that they were patient, looked for good shots, and knocked them down.
You know, I think, Greg, they never settled for the first look. It was always about, let's get the best shot possible. Really good judgment on the offensive end.
Well, we're getting back to the action now. It's been a one-team show so far. We'll see if that changes here in the third. The Heat trail by 12. And Doris, at the end of last season, the Timberwolves debuted their rebrand plans for this season.
Well, it was the right time, I think, to keep the logo fresh, and the team did a great job. You feel as if this will be the constant look for what is a new era in Minnesota basketball.
And so in the game for the Timberwolves, Wiggins at small forward with Gibson at the 4. Teague runs the point with Butler at his side. They're the backcourt. And it's Towns in at the 5. Here's Dragic. He kicks to Waiters. They set the pick. Poked away. And it's Dion Waiters with the foul. That's his first foul. Teague kicks to Wiggins. Outside Teague. On the wing, Wiggins. That's good, and so Teague with the assist. Teague's got 4 assists now tonight. The Heat trail by 13. Pass to Waiters. Here in this third quarter, just over a minute play.
The edge on the glass is the difference. It's allowed them to build this lead.
And it's Gibson finishing it off.
Boy, that's terrific vision on the part of Butler. Knows the offense is not created in a vacuum, keeps the teammates involved, always puts a smile on their face.
Butler against Waiters. Rebound, Minnesota. Towns has got 7 rebounds in the game.
I'll tell you, his inconsistency not helping their cause at all.
Outside Gibson. He dishes it to Towns. The kick outside to Butler. Excellent D there from Waiters. For Miami, they've gone 1 of 3 since starting the second half. Dragic against Teague. Right side a screen. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Dragic. A second chance effort with the clock winding down. Right side, no good.
Ooh, it this is turning into a slow start here in the second half. Seems like they left that offense in the locker room.
Teague dishes to Towns. Butler kicks to Teague. Blanketed by the D. He fights to the rim for the layup. Teague's got 11.
Really like the energy I'm seeing from this offense. 3 for 4 to open the third.
Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively for sure.
Now a timeout called by Miami. Doris, we're always talking about players developing their skill sets. What do you think is the hardest skill to develop as a broadcaster?
I think for me, the hardest skill to learn was to learn how to relax, to have fun, to not be anything but your most authentic self, because I think the viewer picks up on it if you're forcing things, if you're trying to be another broadcaster that perhaps you like to emulate. So I'd say that was the hardest thing.
I always say broadcasting a basketball game is like a running conversation between two people because there's so much scoring and the rhythm and the flow of the game just lend itself to it.
At its best, you're 100% correct.
And a chance now to review the shot chart for the Heat.
And every time he's pulled up from deep and let it fly, it's found a way to catch iron. Not sure if it is something with his release or the defense is bothering him on his threes, but I would expect him to attack the rim a bit just to kind of mix things up.
Right side a screen. It's Dragic with the drive. He got right to the cup using that screen.
Boy, he's able to get to the hoop, Kev, because of that great solid screen.
And, you know, last season, it seemed like it was a strong return to form for Goran Dragic, who was able to be more ball dominant when he was on the floor. And that style seems to work to his advantage. And he just seemed more comfortable in his role with this team.
Towns, the pass to Gibson. And he drops in the layup off the glass. Gibson's got 4 this quarter.
80% shooting to start the third, 4 for 5.
Dragic kicks to Johnson. Just under 3.5 minutes played here in the third quarter.
He just punched the ticket on that one. That'll get the job done.
Powerful two-hand jam. And Greg, with Dragic in his statistical resurgence for several seasons, he had been sharing playmaking duties with guys like Wade and Bledsoe.
And as great as those players are, Dragic is best when he's the lead guard. Seems to be best paired with a shooter. A player's mentality can change when he is or isn't the primary ball handler, and that's been the case with Dragic.
Back to Whiteside. Hits the front of the rim and out.
That's one he knows he should have drained.
Wiggins outside. Outside Teague. Here's Gibson. And there's the call on Karl Anthony Towns. That's his first foul. The Heat trail by 16. And here's Dragic. He's got 13. There's the dish to Waiters. Over Butler. It's rebounded by Towns.
I'll tell you, he's had a tough night. And if you're going to shake out of a slump, he's not going to do it with those kinds of shots.
Johnson against Wiggins. Left side Gibson. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. And Towns, the bucket on the assist by Gibson. Towns has got 17 now.
And it just seems that every pass they make is leading to a score. Just great ball movement.
Feeds it to Whiteside. Johnson against Wiggins. Outside Dragic to the right side. And he bangs it home with one hand.
Well, not exactly one of those big, burly power forwards, right? He depends on his leaping ability more than those guys, and it serves him just fine, Kev.
Teague dishes to Wiggins. There's the pass to Towns. Miami grabs the miss. Johnson, the pass to Dragic. He goes up again, and the bucket counts. 3-point chance here.
He doesn't let that possession go to waste, Kev. He's going to feed on those second chance opportunities. Boy, that's pretty work.
And some changes here for the Heat. Olynyk, he's checked in for Whiteside. Winslow comes in for James Johnson. And it's Tyler Johnson in for Dion Waiters. Butler against Johnson. Butler kicks to T. Butler dishes to Gibson. He feeds it to Towns. Pass to T. Good, and the assist goes to Towns. Towns has got 3 assists in the game.
I am simply blown away by his accuracy. He has made every shot, and what's most important, his team is winning.
Winslow kicks to Dragic. Pass to Mickey. Dishes it to Winslow. Johnson outside. There's Dragic with the 3. The Heat keep it going. A new 24-second shot clock. Olynyk can't hit. Minnesota leading by 15. Towns with it. He's got 17. Wiggins drives in. Unloads from 13. Mickey grabs the board. Mickey's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. Dragic the pass to Olynyk. Drilled from 11 feet out.
Olynyk giving the defense no time to react. Quick catch and shoot.
Timberwolves have gone 7 of 11, a lucky field goal percentage here in the 3rd. Butler dishes to Towns. Kicks it to Gibson. And it's Gibson finishing it off.
Ooh, that's as forceful a finish as you're ever going to see out of this guy.
Well, gee, it adds now to their lead in spectacular fashion.
You know, and I'm not seeing any urgency out of this defense, especially considering the deficit in the score.
Mickey kicks to Winslow. There's the feed to Dragic. Pass to Olynyk. The Heat need to get a shot off. And here's Johnson outside. No good on the shot. And Minnesota now the other way. They led by as many as 18 points. And Greg, you hear about the competitive culture that this Miami Heat franchise has.
Yeah, and that doesn't always work for some teams, but it works for the Heat. This group will push each other all the time to be the best they can be. The practices have a feel of game-level intensity.
The Heat trail by 17. They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
Winslow kicks to Dragic. They set the screen. Lets it go from deep. Offensive rebound.
You know, so much of rebounding is about effort, and no lack of that right there. He had to box out and establish great position.
And Butler gets it to go.
And really keeping the ball hopping around here offensively.
Dragic kicks to Olynyk. Wiggins against Winslow. He dishes it to Dragic. Dragic a screen on Butler. Down low, here's Olynyk. Banked in off the glass. Olynyk's got 6.
I think excellent touch from the post, and you get the sense they trust Olynyk here. Fantastic at utilizing his size.
Towns, the pass to Butler. Outside Teague. Towns, and it's Towns on the follow. Towns has got 19 points.
And physically, there's no doubt they've been the stronger team. A +10 rebound advantage tells you all you need to know.
Dragic kicks to Mickey. Johnson outside. And there's the pass to Mickey. Dragic with it, picked up by Teague. He took good advantage of that screen. He has 5.
And guys, there are some you can give that shot to, but let's be clear, he's not one of them. Terrible job there by the D.
Wiggins outside. Outside Butler takes the 3. Kicks it out to Gibson. Teague dishes to Towns. Now Johnson. He's got 8. Feeds it to Winslow. Off the mark there with the three-point shot.
And they had some botched coverage that turned into no coverage.
He had a make from downtown in the first half, but no threes since then.
Johnson can't get it to go. Timberwolves leading by 16 from deep. Wiggins kicks to Towns. That falls. Nice feed that time from Wiggins. 21 points for Karl Anthony Towns. Dragic the pass to Olynyk. Johnson against Butler. Johnson kicks to Dragic. Sinks the three-pointer.
Ooh, finally hitting one from range. That's his first 3 of the night.
Minnesota's gone 6 of 14 with the 3-ball tonight. Just a little over 40%. Towns, no luck. The Heat trail by 15. Dragic kicks to Olynyk. And the Heat, another 3.
Well, obviously this one reason why Kelly Olynyk is out there. His ability to stretch the floor with his long-range shooting.
Left side, Gibson. The kick outside to Butler. Here's Towns. Lays it up off the glass. Towns has got 8 points in the quarter.
They've shown some strength in the paint today. Their work on the boards has been impressive.
Now here's Johnson. 8 points for him. Screen by Olynyk. Johnson kicks to Dragic. Off target with his 3. And so it's the Minnesota Timberwolves sitting with a comfortable lead, up by 14. What a night they've had in terms of their shooting. Everything dropping in for them. Right back after this break. And now we take a listen into the recent huddle from Tom Thibodeau.
Keep the ball moving. Quick decisions. Get the ball from side to side. Set better screens.
And we're rolling here again with the fourth quarter. Might not come down to the wire, but you never know. Tyler Johnson is out there with Wayne Ellington. Then it's Justice Winslow. Then there's Whiteside. And it's Johnson in at the 3 spot. That's the group on the floor for Miami. And Muhammad has it in the corner. Timberwolves passing it around. Here's Towns. Good work defensively by Whiteside. The Heat trail by 14. Ellington kicks to Johnson. Offline with his 3. Timberwolves shooting 59% up to this point. They're working for great shots, and they're hitting them. Goes back up, and there's the bucket as Jones finishes it off. Jones has got the fourth quarter started here with a bucket for Minnesota. Johnson dishes to Whiteside. Muhammad against Johnson. Johnson kicks to Ellington. Johnson with a screen on Crawford. Johnson, the pass to Winslow. Just 4 to shoot. Now the dish to Johnson. And Johnson missing again.
Well, he had the defense's attention, dropping 2 threes in the first half, but he hasn't made one since.
Here's Muhammad. Kept alive, Minnesota. Towns. And no good, trying to use the glass. Miami's gotten off to an 0 for 2 start from downtown here in the fourth quarter. Johnson dishes to Whiteside. Johnson against Muhammad. Johnson kicks to Johnson. Passes it to Winslow. Over Gibson. Miami no good on that time either. Minnesota leading by 16 to the paint. Tries again. Muhammad, no luck.
Boy, the defense gets into his head and alters his release when he really doesn't have to.
From deep, Johnson. A rebound by the Timberwolves. Towns has got rebound number 19 now. Incredible board work. Got that one up quick. And the Timberwolves lead by 18.
Well, he just creates enough separation to get a quality look from the mid-range.
Johnson kicks to Winslow. He feeds it to Ellington. Pass to Johnson. Johnson the screen. Right side, the pass to Ellington. Johnson for three. Miami no good on that time either. For Minnesota, they've gone just 2 of 8 in this fourth quarter. The final quarter not treating them well so far.
Again and again, they're dissecting the defense and creating those high percentage looks from inside.
This is to Ellington. Back to Whiteside. Johnson kicks to Whiteside. Whiteside a screen. Johnson outside. Back to Whiteside. And out of bounds as the Timberwolves gain possession. Waiters, he's checked in for Wayne Ellington. Timberwolves leading by 20. Jones kicks to Gibson. The feed to Towns. Muhammad against Johnson. The three. Here's Crawford. Waiters grabs the miss.
And look at how well the defense does to cut his path to the basket. Comes up empty on what might have been an easy play.
They need this one. And there's Johnson. That's good on the assist from Dion Waiters.
That's an example of great communication. He knows the spot to get to, and the pass is waiting for him.
Here's Gibson, and it's Gibson finishing it off.
Well, you love to watch Taj Gibson start to cook on the offensive end. Right now, just playing to his strength.
And here is Johnson. Doris, much to the chagrin of basketball purists, we're seeing the near extinction of the mid-range game. Is there a way to reverse this trend?
Kevin, I don't know that we're seeing the extinction of it, and I would point directly to the Finals MVP, Kevin Durant, because if you look at some of his success, it is directly in the mid-range. Russell Westbrook has some effect in the mid-range. I mean, listen, certainly the priority is on layup and three, but I don't think we've seen the extinction of the mid-range. I think this is a cyclical type of situation in the NBA, very much the way we've gone away from a low-post center. Would a player that's a next-level, next-generation kind of player change our thinking about that? Let's see. The game is always in a constant state of evolution.
And Gibson kicks to Towns. Waiters against Crawford. Pass to Muhammad. Over Johnson. Offensive rebound. Here's Towns. And it goes down 2 points. Towns has got 25 points.
Every time they get scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
Johnson against Jones. Here's Whiteside, and there's a whistle. He was going up for a layup, and while it looked like there was some contact, I wasn't sure they were going to call a foul shot or not, but sure enough they have. So he'll head to the free throw line. Andrew Wiggins, he's checked in for Muhammad.
And you know, normally when you look at a guy like Whiteside with the field goal percentage and all, you'd think it's all about dunks, but I tell you what, he's improved his entire repertoire of scoring options near the rim. And now he's even showing that he can step out and knock down that little face-up 15-footer.
He's fighting it in this quarter. Hasn't been able to get into any sort of groove.
Johnson kicks to Whiteside. Johnson against Wiggins. Johnson right side. A three ball. The shot's good on the assist by Johnson. And that's 13 points for Johnson. Whiteside earlier in his career didn't have as many options to score, but Greg, he's been very conscious of keeping that improvement of his game, and especially on the offensive end.
And Whiteside has been self-motivated since he's come back to the NBA. He's got the great length. He gets the hooks. He's got that baby hook up over the defenders, the soft shooting touch, and he just continues to improve offensively, all the while still being a force on the defensive side of the floor.
2 points. That one goes. 6 points for Tyus Jones.
they're doing a really good job of getting the ball inside and attacking the paint. That's an area they have completely dominated.
Hey, the defense is content to let him prove he can make that shot, and so far, he cannot.
Kicks it out to Crawford. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. Lets it go from deep. Towns dishes to Wiggins. And there's the pass to Gibson. Towns the screen. And taken away by Johnson. Shoots from 8. And he tries off the glass, but it's no good. Kicks it out to Wiggins. Good work defensively by Whiteside. The Heat trail by 20. Johnson with it. Now defended by Wiggins. And it's Johnson penetrating from 20 feet out. And it's Johnson. That time on the assist by Johnson. Johnson's got his 3rd assist on the night. Kicks to Towns. And it's Crawford top of the key. From the arc. Back to Towns. Johnson against Wiggins. Back to Towns. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. Towns has got 14 points here in the second half.
And defensively, guys, they've been unable to shut down the middle.
Whiteside a screen on Jones. Here's Johnson. Here's Whiteside at basket number 6 to his stat sheet. He's now 6 for 10.
And that's what the pump fake's there for. Get your man off his feet and drive right around it.
Crawford outside. Timberwolves working now with the new shot clock. Kicks it out to Jones. Crawford up top. Back to Jones. He dishes it to Crawford. Wiggins against Johnson. Here's Gibson. That falls. Nice feed that time from Wiggins. Gibson's got 22 points.
And one of the stories of the second half has been all of those second chance points. I mean, they have been terrific on the offensive backboard.
Winslow, the pass to Whiteside. Slides through for his 7th basket in 11 tries.
Boy, the bucket's been 5 feet wide for him. He's dropping everything in, Kevin.
And Gibson kicks to Towns. Crawford against Waiters. Gibson setting the pick for Towns. Count the basket. Towns has got 31 points.
And they're really in a good position here, thanks in part to the way he's been able to score the basketball.
Winslow, and he lays it straight in.
Yeah, I love the communication and the chemistry between those teammates.
Timberwolves leading by 18. Right side Gibson. Towns the screen. Off the screen, and Wiggins with the layup.
The aggressive finish inside. Andrew Wiggins beats some very good defense.
And the Heat call time here.
Well, there's no doubt that last season the major downfall in most games for the Timberwolves was their struggle on the defensive end of the floor, right? Too many holes in the perimeter, couldn't get stops when they needed them.
And this Minnesota roster has good defenders on it, Doris, but it's just a matter of getting all 5 players on the court to commit on the defensive end.
Right. Think about how young they have been, and focus at times can be an issue. You know, Coach Tom Thibodeau is not going to let that slip. This is a group that showed improvement as the season wore on, and they know they must be much better on the defensive end this season.
We get the chance to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Karl Anthony Towns.
And guys, no doubt who our pick was going to be. He's made everyone else on the court look like they're playing at half speed. It's been total domination, and you can't help but just sit back and admire that performance.
He silenced this crowd with an unreal display. His ability to drown out the noise and the hostility of an opposing crowd is pretty special. Mickey's checked in for Miami. Dragic comes in for Johnson. Minnesota also making some changes. Butler comes in for Jamal Crawford. And it's Teague in for Jones. Shots good by Waiters.
Yeah, the assist has to go to the screen on that play. Gave him all the room he needed to rise and fire.
Teague can't hit.
And you know, he's got the ability, but the question is that really the best shot you can get?
You know, I don't think so, Greg. The defense will give up that deep a shot all day. You got to continue to move the basketball.
The Heat trail by 18. Johnson wide open. He fires. Rebound by Butler.
Well, I think the defense took that possession off. I'm pretty sure he won't miss next time.
Still attacking, building on this lead coming down the stretch.
I'll tell you, he's relentless right now. He's going straight at the defense and knocking down a lot of shots in this quarter.
And so it's going to end up in the record books as a blowout, a dominating performance for the Timberwolves.
As one-sided as it gets today, you know, there were some dominant moments in about every facet of this game for that team.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin, it's hard to think of what didn't go right for them. Game planning by the coaches, execution by the players, everything was just on target.
And now, for the year, this is going to take them to 7 wins.
And so they'll take the first game of the season series, a team they'll only see twice. They're certainly happy to start it off with a win.
And what a tremendous standout performance it was for Karl Anthony Towns.
Boy, this guy played with some swagger and intensity on the boards tonight, dominating the physical aspect of the game.
And if you want to drive your coach crazy, this is a good place to start.
Well, that is a ridiculous shot. I have zero idea why he would even attempt it at this point in the game. How good is that pass? Certainly makes the offensive opportunity easy.
2-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Teague can't hit. Dragic with a wide open look. That's in, coming off the assist from Johnson.
I tell you what, it's almost like stealing to watch how he plays the game from this seat.
Teague with the ball. From deep. So it's Minnesota winning this one easy. A solid win on the road for them. This building was dead silent by the time, GA, this one wound down.
And that's what you want to do. Take the crowd out of it by crunch time. Don't give them any chance to lift their team up at the finish.
It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away. All right, David, thank you. And that'll wrap it up, folks. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and